welcome back. Welcome to deepest, darkest Northumberland. We're up between the doctor's house to me south there, about a couple hundred yards, and Cullenose Point up there, about, I don't know, a third of a mile, half a mile. Got a pretty big tide. It's around about a 1 metre ebb. We've got, from what I can see, it's still quite light. It's only just gone 7 o'clock, but it looks like there's a tinge of colour in the water. We've just got a fairly large but fairly lazy groundswell coming in. Tide's ebbing. We've got just under 2 hours till bottom water. And I've chosen this particular mark because the tide is going to go out quite a bit. There's not much sea on. As I say, there's a little bit of groundswell, but it's not a lot. So I fancy fishing here because what this area does give you, this particular area, is access to quite deep water close in. So I just figure that if there's not a lot of sea on, we're going to be fishing into daylight, then my instincts are telling us go somewhere where you've got a bit of depth and a bit of tide, and obviously plenty of rough ground, which is exactly what we've got in front of us here. So we're going to be using a load of different crab and derivatives, if you like. We've got some carp sticks, coral, carp wings, and what's left of me supply of frozen peeler. So with that lot, I'm hoping we can do the damage. Rigs are the usual rough ground pulleys. I'm going to go 6 ounce. I think that'll be more than adequate. Rotten bottom, 40 pound amnesia with an overhand link. Rotter, and I just narrow the gaps on those just to make it a bit safer when you cast. Splashdown or imp or candy link, 80 pound rig body, bead, Trident Aero pulley, bead, 195 pound power swivel, 2/0 Cox and roll circle, and on the business end a mustard fine wire 6/0 full circle, and that is on a 70 pound hook length. So they're the rigs, and I'm going to quickly get one baited up. It's a cracking morning. It's really overcast, which I'm hoping is going to work in my favour. And we've got a big tide. As I say, it's roughly a 1 metre, and I think after today the tides are going to start getting smaller again. So might not say smaller, they're still going to be big. They're just going to start to approach the neap cycle. So first bait, I'm just going to get a bit of wing. That's still nice and frozen. That, God, that's absolutely rock solid. So just get that in there. Plenty of elastic. So I'm just going to bind that card stick onto that wing. Ideally, I would have preferred that wing to be slightly more frozen. Oh, come on, man. You can see how mild it is. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's the 3rd of November, and it's about 11, 12 degrees. I'm sat here in a jumper and a t-shirt. It's quite bizarre, really, for early November, but that seems to be the world we live in these days. Frost and snow, I just think it all but feels like a thing of the past. It's just, I've counted 1 frost on the car this winter or autumn. Right, so there's that baited up. I'm just going to put, hopefully you can pick that up. It's not a great light for GoPros, so I'm hoping you can pick that up. 1, 2. Get that circle in, just nick through the top. It's handy with these card sticks because that bandage is a doddle to hook into. So hook that into my imp like that. Just going to shift that knot out the way, put that knot to one side, and hang that up. And that rig is ready to go. So let's get it out there. Right. Do have to be very careful on some of these rocks because they've got that like green black sort of sheen over them, and when you get further down the tide, when you're right onto the barnacles, it's all right, but this kind of upper tide bit, The rocks can be dead slippy, so you've just got to be very, very careful. So these bits here are fine once you're on the barnacles. To be honest, when I got down here before, there was still some big swells coming over, but it's dropped a bit, so I probably will just come and set up camp down here. So let's get this first one out. Let's get this one back on the stand, get that next rig baited up. So get these legs right into a little hole somewhere, just so it's got plenty of grip. That's it. This is another nice convenience thing about fishing this sort of area, where you've got a really steep gradient behind you. It sometimes makes casting a bit tricky, but it's very, very comfortable fishing. And if there's a little bit of swell, you can just get your rod right up out of the way of everything. Right, let's get another bait set up. What is a handy tool are these shepherd's crook baiting tools. You can just cut off your bit of cart, in this case a bit of wing, push it through, put your hook on the top, bind it on. And what I'll do, because it's like, as I mentioned, it's 11-12 degrees and those coral sticks defrost quite quickly, I'll only lash that on about a minute or two before I'm going to cast in, to make sure that it's got maximum amount of juice on the deck. Because if it was a lot colder, if the air temperature was cold, obviously it wouldn't be a problem, but I'll just literally leave that elastic like that. And the good thing about this stick as well, when you're using those coral sticks, you can just get hold of your knot, whether it's bandage, tights or whatever you use, and it means you haven't got the warmth of your hands actually on it. You can just nip it, lay it down, get the elastic going, and then it kind of minimises how much it'll thaw out. Getting the knock here. Yep, so I'll let that knock. Just make sure I don't slip. Yep, fish on, fish on. It's not a bad start, is it? He's got to keep his head up, he's fighting. I've got to watch under my feet here. Because the last thing I want is to go on me straight on my back up. He's scrapping, like this fella. He's got to keep me up. Keep moving, come on, that's it, that's it. I feel him getting into that kelp. Come on. God, he doesn't want to move, like. Oh, he's fast right at my feet. Oh no, he's coming. Bring him in on that wave, come on. Does not want to come in. Ah, he's found a ledge. Right under there. Give that a bit of slack, see if I can get close at the water without breaking my neck. It's literally just at my feet. It's obviously too dangerous to try and get it, but it's 5 yards out. It's just gone into a ledge straight underneath us there. What I want to try and do is get to one side and pull it, but it's just a little bit too dangerous right now. Yep, he's coming. I've got him. That's it. Sometimes it just pays to give it a little bit of slack. Well, good start. Good start indeed. And it'll be a better start if I can get back to the camera without smashing my face open. Right, well, here we are, people. Not a bad fish, probably 2.5, and you can just see he's just hooked on the side of the mouth of that circle. He's a lovely, again, you might have seen on a previous video, strange markings on his fins. I don't know, and there, well, I say markings, it looks more like infection or parasite or something's had a go at him, but there he is, first cast. There's a distinctive smell of cod shite all over. Yeah, there it is. Luckily it's on the ground and not on me on me clothes. There's absolutely nothing worse than that, especially at 7:30 in the morning. So there we go, first fish, probably 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. He's quite fat, only lip hooked, so we'll get him straight back, but happy with that. Right, so didn't even get a chance to finish baiting this rig. So like I was saying, you can just get your bit of coral, lay that up. I mean, I've tied the knots that tight actually that I can't quite get hold of the bandage, but once you get that moving, you can just keep hold of the baiting tool, and it means you don't. I can just pinch that there. It means you can just minimise the amount of body heat going on to that coral, and you'll just get a little bit more life on the seabed. So, well, can he start? Can he start? He gave a good account of himself, that fish. Some that had a few bass the other week, and they were so powerful. Right, so you can just unclip that, pull that out, got it clipped up, jobs are good. Right, see him again, please. Keep saying 3rd November, I'm sweating 7:30 in the morning, it's crazy. Getting another bite straight away, yeah. God, that was an absolutely cracking bite, that. Yep, fish on again. It's not a big fish, but I need to try and keep it out the way of that ledge. Savage bite. Right, just trying to pull into that ledge down there, so I need to just keep it moving. Approaching the danger area. I think we've got him. We've got him. Well, I didn't even have time to get another rig baited up there. Right, come here, get out of the way. Right, well, fish number 2, and again, just nicked in the circle and successfully sprayed shite everywhere. Smaller fish, he'd be size, but he's smaller. Yet again, got these strange problems with his fins. Lovely markings otherwise though, really lively, so just a little fella. We'll get him back. Well, 2 fish, 2 casts. Not bad, especially in daylight. Wing and coral bait seems to be doing the business. We've probably got another roughly an hour left of the ebb, and I'd always prefer to be fishing when there's some tide running, so let's just see if there's anything else. Had another bite here. Bit of slack. No, not that side. Just had another couple of sharp bites there. Something having a little rattle. Yep, he's not a big fish this time, but he's a fish. Could be a coolie this, or a very something small. It's not too late in the year for a wrasse either, of course. Oh, he's come off. It's annoying. He's off. He wasn't a big fish. Right. This bait's been out for about 20 minutes. It's a crab and coral stick bait, but I've got to admit when I peeled the crab, it didn't smell great. It had that smell of a crab that's somehow defrosted and then refrozen when it goes a little bit black, and it's not great. So I suspect that might be something to do with it. Plus we're virtually on bottom water, so the tide will be quite slack now. But I've got, because I'd already peeled one and defrosted one, I've got another crab bait, which to be fair actually smell all right. I've got another crab and coral stick bait there. And because the tide's slack, I'm gonna just use a 5-ounce sinker, see if I can get away with that. So, that initial flurry of activity has definitely come to a bit of a halt, but it's all right. We'll keep plugging away. Let's see if we can pick anything up. Cooled down, but it's a cracking morning. Just getting a little rattle here. Right, this one's been in a little while. I have had a couple of rattles. Something on that. It's popped off though. Feel some. Chuck this one out to the right. I can definitely feel there's a bit of heavier ground. Gone back. That's 2 crab baits. Well, with coral. Let's hasn't done anything, so I've gone back to a wing and cart stick bait. So see if we can pull anything out of that, because that's what was doing the damage before. We're about 9:10. The tide should be turning now. Right, I'm going to change things up a little bit because, as you know, I've been using a small circle and then one of these mustard demon circles in the 6-0, and the last two sessions I've had, out of 5 fish, 4 of them have been lip hooked, which is obviously good for conservation and catch and release purposes. But there's a couple of times where I've been winding fish in and they've popped off, and I'm beginning to think, is that because they were only lightly lip hooked? So I'm going to change things up a bit. I'm still going to stick with the Demon Circle 6-0, but I'm going to use that as my pennel. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a mustard ringed chinook, and that's a 5-0. So hopefully you can see that there. Whoops, you will be able to see it when I don't drop it. Because, I don't know, fishing's all about confidence, isn't it? And I don't know, there's just something... If you pop the odd fish off and it happens, you know, maybe once every half a dozen sessions, fair enough, but I don't know, just when it's happened twice in 2 sessions, it's just, along with the fact that the fish are all lip hooked, which is obviously the whole purpose of circle hooks, no doubt, but I don't know, I think I'll feel a bit confident with a more J-hook type shape. I mean, I know that's a chinook, obviously it does bend in slightly, but nowhere near like what a circle hook does. Hopefully you can see that. Possibly not because I'm wearing a black jacket, but there's the difference. So that's what I'm going to do with these rigs. I'm going to whack a 5-0 chinook on the bottom, because I just think I'll feel a bit more comfortable doing that. Bites have slackened right off. Tide, the flood should be in full flow now, so give it another hour or so and see what happens. Well, we're actually, I thought we're about an hour into the flood. We're not. We're pretty much bang on bottom water. My tide app mustn't have updated last night when I looked at it, because it said low water was 9:15. And I've been watching this tide drop further and further after 9 o'clock and thinking, so I've just looked at the app again and it says 10 o'clock. So I'm like, right. Well, it's 10 o'clock down at Amble, so it's probably 5-2, 10-2, something like that here. Which is pretty much now, and the bites have absolutely died a death. I first got here and started fishing before, which would have been about half tide down, come to think of it, when there was still plenty of movement. The bites were coming thick and fast, but now it's gone absolutely dead. The sea's actually flattened off a little bit as well. So I'm going to give this one another 5 minutes. I'm going to chuck that other one out. Probably give it 20 minutes into the flood, and if I don't get any bites, I'm going to head off. Just a quick, short, enjoyable morning session. It's a cracking morning. There's not a breath of wind. It's really, really pleasant. So we'll persevere for a bit longer and then call it, I think. Well, felt a bit of weight on that. What do we have? Small lobster. Didn't see, oh, careful out the way of my fingers there. Didn't see any bites, which is strange for lobsters, because usually you do get a bit of an indication. So especially when the tide's slack like it is now. Well undersized, I wouldn't keep it anyway, but there you are, very pretty crustacean. Knife and fork on the claws, got the kind of big powerful one which is a lot blunter there, and then the sharper, more sort of, oh yeah, he's having a go, serrated for ripping things to bits. So yeah, we'll get you back. Right, unless we get any activity, this is going to be the last cast, and I'm going to go further down and fire one out. A couple of swells, there's the odd bigger one just starting to come in here, so I've got to be a little bit careful. Get out the way before the next wave takes us out. Right, 10:15, tide's definitely starting to move now. See if we can get something. Well, I've had a couple of rattles on this, but I think I'm going to call it. I'm ready to go and get some food and a cup of coffee, I think. So, it's been a very, very enjoyable morning. Had a couple of fish early doors, bumped another one off, plenty of bites, and then as it approached slack water, died right off. Who knows, there might be fish move back in on the flood, but I've had me fill, to be honest. Nice quick short early morning session, lovely morning in a lovely part of the world, so I'm certainly happy with that. So as always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Tight lines, keep fishing. We'll see you soon.